protect your time. Great salespeople, great business people, and people who you probably look to for inspiration when it comes to living this life that you want, they all have one thing in common, and it is protecting their time. And it's not so much saying yes and saying no to the correct things. It's just knowing when to do them. And this comes down to organization, but it really comes down to and boils down to protecting your time. There are things in my day that I have to say no to. There is freight in my day that I have to say no to because A, it doesn't pay enough to justify what it is, but B, there are activities in my day that are more important than making the next dollar today, which sounds very interesting for most people. But I am a strong believer that a dollar today is better than a dollar tomorrow. But I am also a strong believer in $5 tomorrow is better than $1 today. And that goes to cost of capital, and it goes to time cost of money. If you've ever taken an accounting course or an accounting class or read anything about accounting, your dollars are worth less tomorrow than they are today. But there is a number that is worth more tomorrow than it is today. A common saying is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, which is one of the oldest time investing analogies that you could look at, which is if you put $1 away and it creates $2 for tomorrow, that is better. So a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? And you need to learn how to protect your time so that you can take the bird in your hand and create the two in the bush. And that is what protecting your time is all about. High-end CEOs, Jeff Bezos, if you want to look at him, he said that he makes 3 big decisions per day and he stops at about 1 p.m. because after that, all of his decision-making power is gone. So he protects his morning hours. He protects his time with his family until 9 a.m. when he goes to work. And then from 9 until 1, he makes 3 big decisions per day. He gives 3 directives per day, and then he is done. He protects the rest of his time. The rest of his time is balanced out, and it's for enjoyment and what have you. But when he was building Amazon, he protected his time. Most people protect their time, and it's really just protecting your time from the things that distract you from the course that you want to be on. For me, for example, my course right now is to build my brokerage. I need to add more clients. I need to add more load count. I need to add more margin to it. And with that, you could say, well, then wouldn't taking on more freight today at lower margins be something that might be useful? And it would if that was the goal. If the goal was just to continue to add on freight after freight after freight, I could have already added on a few customers. There's been customers that I've had to turn down because they have poorer credit than I like, but we insure our receivables, so I could have accepted it on and just taken on the risk because the risk is actually kind of like weighed out. So as long as I would have made like a 15% spread on each load, I would have actually come out ahead from our insuring our receivables if that customer were to never pay us. So I could have come out ahead on these type of things, but it's not worth the time to do because then I would have had to fight with the insurance company to actually get paid for everything. And even though the cash flow looks like it would actually be good right now, it would still take a lot of extra doing down the line. So you need to protect your time and do the things that are actually going to improve your business going forward. So what I am doing right now is only taking on strong customers, strong credit. They have proven payments, and that is where my mind space is. And I'm also looking for customers that are more relationship based. I don't want to just take on any and all freight. I want to take on good freight, quality freight that actually will stick around through the turbulence of my growing pains that I know are going to happen. When I have to hand an account off, I want my customers to also know that I am still here in the background and that it's not going to change that much. And you may say, well, having all of that extra freight coming in would have been a good thing that you could have handed off that instead of the relationship accounts, but it wouldn't exactly be worth it, if you know what I'm saying. I would want my customers to learn and help customers who are actually going to speak with them opposed to people who just book a load from A to B. It's not the same thing. When we deliver solutions for a customer is way different than just picking up a load and moving it from A to B. Do you understand what I'm saying? when we create a solution to a real problem, opposed to we're just another broker on their load board or just another broker who gets sent their spot loads, there's a big difference in the communication and what my people will believe that they do from day to day. I want my people to deliver solutions. I don't need them going out and just landing lumber freight, which just moves for the cheapest price, and they send out their rates and what they're willing to pay ahead of time. I don't need that. We need relationship based accounts. We need some enterprise accounts in house, which are not always relationship based. They are just more volume based. And that is okay, but it is not what we need right now. So eventually I will add on these enterprise shippers. And if they want to have a relationship out of the gate and they want to sit down and actually have true conversations about why they're taking on new brokers right now, opposed to just going with who they ran with through the rough times, now you're taking on new brokers because rates are going up and you're trying to keep everybody more competitive. That just proves that you don't really care too much about your relationships. It's all about your budget. And I understand. I understand protecting your bottom line. I understand that. But when people helped you lower your costs in the first place in order to help you, because that is what you asked for, you should be willing to reciprocate when times change. And the companies that are not, I see them because they're onboarding quite a bit right now. And you think that you can change them. Salespeople think that they can change how companies operate, and you can go in and have a conversation with them and change how they structurally think. And it just doesn't happen. So you need to protect your time. You need to aim for good quality clients, especially when you're first in this startup phase that I am still in. I don't know when you would actually graduate from startup phase, because I feel like everything is startup phase. Because once you hit, a certain number, Kevin O'Leary calls it 5 million. Some people call it 10 million. But once you hit these numbers, you just start a new part of the process, or you start a new system, and then it's a startup phase within that. The company itself may not be a startup, but everything that the founder, me, focuses on, you focuses on, is startup phase. And you still have to feel that way, and you still have to protect your time, and you still have to. New ventures require time, energy, and potentially capital. They require your resources. So you need to protect those resources and your time at all costs, because they need to go to where the highest ROI could be. So where is that for me in this current state? That is still making sales calls. And with that, I do have to turn down lower margin freight, lower margin percentage freight, both, in order to protect my highest activity hours to go towards the highest ROI potential, which is finding new clients that will provide higher margin percentages. It's great to have the volume. It is great to lean back on it. It is great to have all of these things, but you need to protect your time to put it towards where the most high ROI is coming from. So if you're in school right now, your highest ROI time would be studying, and therefore getting better grades. Therefore, you can get a better, higher paying job when you get out, and so on and so forth. If you're in sales, your highest ROI time is making sales calls. It's prospecting. If you are a business owner and you allocate capital or resources all day long, that is what you should focus on. You should focus on your time, on where is best to place your capital so that it has the highest ROI. That could be hiring a new salesperson. It could be putting it into some investment over here. It could be starting a new venture within your company. It could be starting an entirely new venture outside of your company. You get to make those choices, but you do need to protect your time. Take care.